Hello guys, welcome to Reggae Kiddies, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Thank you.
In this video, I'm going to continue from where I stopped on a previous video of how to make a celestial garment for a newborn baby girl. So far on this video series, we've covered the cutting and the construction of the skirt, which is the lower part of the sutana. The cutting of the bodice, which is the upper part, has been covered as well. And in case you haven't seen those videos, kindly check the description area below for the link to the tutorials. Guys, make sure you subscribe, share, and also give this video a thumbs up. My name is Bolaji and this is Reggae Kiddies. So guys, here is the bodice we cut out in the previous video, and we have our dart plotted, as you can see. So in the construction of the upper part of a sutana for a newborn baby girl, the first step is to pick the dart. And as you can see, I have the dart plotted on one side, and the dart has to be placed on 4 sides. That is the 2 parts for the front and 2 parts for the back. So all I need to do is to transfer this dart on the remaining 3 parts, and because of the notches I've already placed on the dart point, this will help me in constructing the dart easily. So you can see I placed notches. I hold my bodice together this way and I cut the 3 points a little. So when I open up the bodice, I will have my cut on the remaining 3 areas. Now I will proceed in transferring my darts on the remaining 3 parts. So guys, now I have my darts transferred on all the 4 places, 2 for the front and 2 for the back, and I have it like this. So the next step is to take this to my sewing machine and I will be stitching my darts. In stitching my darts, I will hold the 2 lines together like so, and the center line is going to be at the center. The 2 lines I have by the side will meet each other properly, and I will stitch on the line. So just the way I position my pin. So I will stitch from the waistline and I will stop on the marked point, which is the dart length point. So this is the wrong side of my fabrics. On the right side, I will have this. So I'm going to take this to my sewing machine now, pick all the 4 darts. That is 1, 2, 3 and 4. Then I will be back to show you the next step. So guys, now I have my darts picked on the 4 sides of my sutana. So this is what I have for the wrong side, and on the right side I have this. So after picking the darts, I took it to my ironing board and I gave it a press in order to smoothen up that part. Now that we have the darts picked, the next step is to finish the neckline area. In finishing the neckline area, facing is needed. So facing is what I will be using in finishing the neckline. And also to support the neckline area, I will be making use of a very soft fusible interfacing. The one I have here is the cotton one. If you cannot afford the cotton one, you can go for the paper one, which is popularly called paper stay. But if you are making use of the paper one, make sure you use the very soft one. So in constructing the facing, this has to be done on my interfacing. I will fold this in 4 places, just the way I folded my fabric when I was cutting out the bodice. I will fold vertically and I will fold horizontally. So guys, now I have my facing folded into 4 places. I folded vertically and I folded horizontally. So I have it in 4 places. Now this place is on fold and this part is on fold as well. Then I'll place the bodice of the baby sutana and place it like so, center to center and shoulder to shoulder. And I will make sure the edges are lined properly. So now I have the bodice and the facing pinned together, as you can see. So the next step is to trace out the neckline on the facing. Okay, so now that I have the neckline traced out, I can separate my bodice from the facing. So in cutting out the facing for a newborn baby girl sutana, the two basic measurements are needed, which are the length of the facing and the width of the facing. That is, how long you want the facing to be and how wide you want it to be. So in this tutorial, I'm making use of 5 inches for the length of the facing and 2.5 inches for the width of the facing. And don't forget, I told you all the measurements I'm using in this tutorial are all standard measurements, which works for a new baby between 3 to 4 kg. So from the shoulder line, I will measure 5 inches. Then I will add extra half of an inch as the seam allowance. The seam allowance is for finishing the edges of the facing. So instead of measuring 5 inches, I will measure 5.5 inches. And don't forget, I took the measurement from the shoulder line. Okay, then for the wideness of the facing is 2.5 inches. So this measurement has to be taken from the neck width point. So that is the neckline I traced out from the bodice. So from the neck width point here, I will measure 2.5 inches, which I have here. So after the 2.5 inches, then I will add 0.75 to this for my seam allowance. I will be using half of an inch in finishing this side, then quarter of an inch for the neckline. I'm using quarter of an inch for the neckline because I added quarter of an inch on the bodice. So whatever you use as your seam allowance on the bodice is what you should use on the facing as well. So from the 2.5 inches mark point, I will measure 0.75 forward. Okay, then I'll come to the lower part and insert the same measurement. I will confirm what I have from the center to the mark point. Then I will place it on the lower part. And because when I was constructing the neckline, I did not have the square neckline on a perfect square shape, I tampered with the lower part of the neckline, which is this part. Then I will be repeating the same process on the facing as well. I'm talking about the shape of the neckline I have. I'm talking about the shape of the square I have on the neckline. You can see it is not a perfect square. So I'll just come to this point, then measure 1 inch forward. Okay, then from the 1 inch point, I will connect to the upper part. Okay, so this part is going off. So with this, I have my facing constructed together with the seam allowances. Then I can proceed in cutting it out. If you are yet to watch the previous part of this video, kindly check the description area below this video for the link to the tutorials so that you will not get lost at any point. Then I will open up the neckline. So guys, I have my facing cut out, as you can see, but before opening it up, I will place notches just the way I placed it on the bodice. Then I will place notches on the center of the neckline. then I can open it up. So you can see what I have here is the same thing as what I have on the bodice. Now guys, it's time to fuse the interfacing together with the Sutana fabrics. So I'm placing my facing on the wrong side of my fabrics, as you can see. So there is a shiny part on the fusible interfacing. So this is the part that we fuse together with the fabrics. You can see this place, this part is dull while this part is shiny. So the shiny part will be facing the wrong side of the fabrics, like so. Then I will take it to my ironing board and fuse the two together. So guys, now I have the interfacing fused together with my fabrics, as you can see. So I have this for the wrong side, and you can see how smooth the right side is. After fusing on the wrong side, make sure you turn this to the right side and also smoothen it up so that your fabrics will not be squeezed on the right side. So the next step is to trace out my facing. So now I have my facing traced out, as you can see. You can see how neat it looks. So it's time to attach the facing together with the bodice. So in doing this, the first thing is to mark out my seam allowances all around the neckline area I have on the facing. So the seam allowance I added was 0.25, which is 1/4 of an inch. So I will be marking out 1/4 of an inch all around the neckline. So guys, I have my seam allowances marked all around the neckline, as you can see, and I connected all the dotted lines together. So you have to draw out your neckline properly, like so that you will end up having a perfect shape for your neckline. So when I'm stitching, I will take note of the midpoint I have on the seam allowance line, like this. This will be connected to this. So this angle also to the angular point I have on the neckline. So the same thing on the other side. So after stitching, that is the point I will be placing my notches. In attaching the facing to the bodice, the positioning is the right side of the facing facing the wrong side of the bodice. So I will place the right side of the facing on the wrong side of the bodice, like so. And the first step is to make the notches matches on the center. So that is why it is important you place your notches on both the bodice and the facing. You can see on the center I have my notches, and I will hold this together with my pin. On the other side as well, notches to notches. So that is the center. So after pinning the center, the next is to pin the angular points. I have 4 angular points. So this is the first one. So this is the second point. Here is the third point and the fourth point. Okay, so after pinning the 4 angular points, then I will pin the shoulder points together. I have my notches on the shoulder point as well, so which is here. So I'll just place it. Then on the other side, pin it together. So in total I have 8 points pinned together, as you can see, and automatically the remaining parts are lined properly. It's as simple as that. So I will take this to my sewing machine now, and I will be stitching all around the neckline, and I will make sure I stitch on the lines I drew out. So now I have the facing attached together with the bodice, as you can see. So the next step is to place notches on the 4 angular points. After placing the notches, then I will take it back to my sewing machine and apply a top stitch. So notching means cutting a little. As you can see, I will cut as much as I can, but I will not get to the same point. Okay guys, now I have the 4 points notched properly. Then I will take it back to my sewing machine and I will apply a top stitch. Now when I'm top stitching, this top stitching is going to be on the right side. So that is, I will not be top stitching on the facing, I will be top stitching on the main fabrics. So this is my seam allowance. The seam allowance will be facing towards the bodies, like so, and not like this. This is because the facing is coming to the right side of the sutana, like this, and seam must not be showing on the neckline area. So that is why my top stitching is going to be on the bodies. So if the seam is showing on the bodies, then the facing will cover it up like this. So I will take this back to my sewing machine and I will be applying my top stitching. So I will top stitch all around the neckline. So guys, now I have my top stitch applied around the neckline. So you can see what I have. So after top stitching, then I took this to the right side. I brought it out like so. Then I took it to my ironing board and I gave it a good press. I press the neckline all around. Then on the lower parts of the facing, I mark out my seam allowance of 1/2 inch all around. I folded it inward and I gave it a press as well, so that when I'm stitching, I'll have a very flat and neat facing. So the only thing I have left to do on my facing is to take it back to my sewing machine, then finish the edges like so, and I will stitch all around. Now I have the facing finished neatly and properly. As you can see, the facing is really looking good. Now the next step is to join the two sides together. So this is going to be the right side facing the right side like so, and I will make sure the dart point matches properly as well. So I will hold my dart points together, then I will close the side using the exact same allowance I added. So I will be taking this to my sewing machine now. I will close the two sides and I will be back to show you the next step. So guys, now I have the two sides of the bodice joined together, as you can see. So this is what I have on the wrong side, and on the right side I have this. So guys, we are almost done with the construction of a newborn baby girl sutana. So this is coming up already. So this is the lower part we constructed in the previous video, and this is the upper part. So the next step is to join the two together, and as you can see, our newborn baby girl sutana is looking beautiful already. So in joining this together, it's going to be the right side facing the right side. And because this is for a newborn baby girl, there's no front and back. The front and back are the same. So I'll just position this like so, pin it around, take it to my sewing machine and stitch with 1/2 inch of seam allowance. So guys, now I have the upper part and the lower part of the Sutana joint together, and this is what I have on the right side. You can see this is looking so beautiful. We still have few things to do in order to make this a complete Sutana for a newborn baby girl. Thank you guys for watching this video to this point. Let's meet in the next video where I will be rounding up this video series. Make sure you try yours and share your experience with me at the comment section. Till then, keep watching, keep playing.